We will get started, and I'm going to just introduce the first story, and then one of our readers is going to tell you a little bit more about it. The first one we're going to read today is called Me First, and it's written by Helen Lester and illustrated by Lynn Munsinger.
And Me First is a story about a little pig who always wants to be first. Now, I don't know about you, but there have been times when I wanted to be first too. So he learns a little lesson in this from an unexpected source. So here we go with Me First. Each person's going to introduce him or herself and what part he or she plays.
I'm Mark, and I'll be narrator 1.
I'm TJ, and I play the sandwich.
I'm Debbie, and I'm Pinkerton.
And I'm Joe, and I'll be narrator 2.
Pinkerton was a pink, plump, pushy pig. He would do anything to be first, even if it meant bouncing off bellies, stepping on snouts, or tying tails.
No matter where he was, it was always the same.
Me first!
Cried Pinkerton when he had been last in line and finished first down the slide.
Me first!
Cried Pinkerton at story time, sitting on his bottom with his big head smack in front of the book.
Me first!
Cried Pinkerton every day in the school troughateria.
One Saturday, Pinkerton's Pig Scout troop went on a day trip to the beach. Pinkerton was the first on the bus and sat in the front row.
He was first off the bus, first in the water, first out of the water, and first into the picnic basket.
After lunch, the Pig Scout decided to go for a hike. Off they went, Pinkerton leading the line, of course. As the Pig Scouts marched across the sand, they heard a faint voice far off in the distance.
Who would care for a sandwich?
Pinkerton pricked up his pointy ears and thought,
Care for a sandwich? Oh, yes! Me first!
He began to trot ahead of the others. Soon he heard the voice again, closer and louder this time.
Who would care for a sandwich?
Me first!
he took off with a burst of speed, kicking up sand and leaving the other Pig Scouts far behind. His imagination almost burst.
Peanut butter jelly, 2 tomatoes, 7 pickles, a slab of cheese, a blob of mayo, a big smear of mustard, and all for me first!
Who would care for a sandwich?
Now, at a full gallop, Pinkerton flew over a sandy hill and landed kerplop, face to face with a small creature with a bump on her nose and fur on her toes.
Am I glad to see you? I can sure hear you coming. Me first, me first, me first. I guess you really would care for a sandwich.
Oh, yes indeed!
Good.
Pinkerton waited. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds.
Well,
Well, what?
the sandwich! Where's the sandwich?
You're looking at her. I am a sandwich, and I live in the sand. And you said you would care for me.
Oh, but
So here I am. Care for me.
Oh, but I...
You said me first. You wanted to be the first to care for me. Well, congratulations. Now just come along to my sandcastle.
She grabbed Pinkerton firmly by the snout and led him around a few bends. Before he could say
But I...
again, the gate to her castle closed.
All right, my pink, plump, and pushy one. Now you care for me. You may have the honor of being the first to powder my nose and comb my toes.
Seeing no way out, Pinkerton powdered her nose and combed her toes.
Next, you may be the first to put my supper in a bucket and feed me with a shovel.
Pinkerton looked around. He had no choice. He put her supper in a bucket and fed her with a shovel.
Finally, after you've had the privilege of being the first to wash my dishes, Sweep my castle, do my laundry, curl my hair, and tuck me in. You may be the first to tell me a bedtime story.
Pinkerton washed the dishes, swept the castle, did the laundry, curled the sandwich's hair, and tucked her in. The sandwich stretched and yawned loudly.
Now the story. I need my story.
Pinkerton was so tired he could barely speak.
I don't know any stories.
Then how about making up something? How about something like concerning a pushy pig who always wanted to be first?
Once upon a time, there lived a pig who always wanted to be first, until one day he met a wise sandwich.
Wise and beautiful.
Wise and beautiful. You always showed me that being first was not always the best.
Uh-huh. And have you learned something?
Oh, yes, I promise I have.
In that case, thanks for the care. Goodbye and good luck.
She opened the gate and Pinkerton sped off so fast he didn't even notice the delicious sandwich she held out to him.
He was just in time to catch the bus. On he scooted, pink, plump,
And glad to be last.
The
end.
Thank you so much, readers. That was a delightful story. And great job listening, all the audience members. Thank you so much. The next story we're going to do is a story called The Great Kapok Tree, written by Lynn Cherry.
The Great Kapok Tree. The Kapok Tree is a big, huge giant of a tree, and it lives in the rainforest, the Amazon rainforest. It is the tallest tree in the rainforest, standing far above the canopy, which is the top layer of the rainforest. And in the Kapok Tree dwell many, many different animals. It also has a huge trunk, which provides shelter for other animals. This is a story about the Kapok Tree and men who were people who want to chop it down. They learned something from the animals of the rainforest in this story. We have...
I'm John, I'm narrator 1.
I'm the boa, the toucan, the jaguar, the anteater, and the jungle child.
And I'm bee, monkey, tree frog, porcupine, and sloth.
And I am narrator 2.
Two men walked into the rainforest. Moments before, the forest had been alive with the sounds of squawking birds and howling monkeys. Now, all was quiet as the creatures watched the two men and wondered why they had come.
The larger man stopped and pointed to the great Kapok tree. Then he left. The smaller man took the axe he carried and struck the trunk of the tree. Whack, whack, whack. The sounds of the blows rang through the forest. The wood of the tree was very hard. Chop, chop, chop. The man wiped off the sweat that ran down his face and neck. Whack, chop, whack, chop, whack, chop.
Soon the man grew tired. He sat down to rest at the foot of the great Kapok tree. Before he knew it, the heat and the hum of the forest had lulled him to sleep.
A boa constrictor lived in the Kapok tree. He slithered down its trunk to where the man was sleeping. He looked at the gash the axe had made in the tree. Then the huge snake slid very close to the man and hissed in his ear.
Senor, this tree is a tree of miracles. It is my home, where generations of my ancestors have lived. Do not chop it down.
A bee buzzed in the sleeping man's ear.
Senor, my hive is in the kapok tree, and I fly from tree to tree, to flower, collecting pollen. In this way, I pollinate the trees and flowers throughout the rainforest. You see, all living things depend on each other.
A troop of monkeys scampered down from the canopy of the kapok tree. One of them chattered to the man.
Senor, we have seen the ways of man from the canopy, from way up high on the tree. You chop down one tree, then come back for another and another. Oh, the roots of these great trees will wither and die, and there'll be nothing left over the earth and the surface. When the rains come, the soil will be washed away, and the forest will become a desert.
A toucan, a macaw, and a cock of the rock flew down from the canopy. The toucan squawked.
Senor, you must not cut down these trees. We have flown over the forest and seen what happens once you begin to cut down the trees. Many people settle on the land. They set fires to clear the underbrush, and soon the forest disappears. Where once there was life and beauty, there's only black and smoldering ruins remain.
A bright and small tree frog crawled along the edge of a leaf. In a squeaky voice, he piped into the man's ear.
Senor, a ruined rainforest means ruined lives. Many, many ruined lives. If you leave many of us homeless, if you chop down, and that will happen if you chop down this kapok tree.
A jaguar had been sleeping along a branch in the middle of the tree. He leapt down and padded silently over to the sleeping man, growled in his ear.
Senor, the kapok tree is home to many birds and animals. If you cut it down, where will I find my dinner?
Four tree porcupines swung down from branch to branch, and one whispered to the man.
Senor, do you know what we animals and humans need in order to live? Oxygen. And senor, do you know what trees produce? Oxygen. If you cut down the forest, you will destroy that which gives us life.
Several anteaters climbed down from the kapok tree with their young clinging to their backs. An unstriped anteater said to the sleeping man,
Senor, you are chopping down this tree with no thought for the future. Surely you know that what happens tomorrow depends on what you do today. The big man, he tells you to chop down the beautiful tree. He does not think of his own children, who tomorrow must live in a world without trees.
A three-toed sloth had begun climbing down the canopy when the men first appeared. Only now did she reach the ground, plodding ever so slowly over to the sleeping man. She spoke in her deep, lazy voice.
Senor, how much is beauty worth? Can you live without it? If you destroy the beauty of the rainforest, on what would you feast your eyes?
a child from the Yanomamo tribe who lived in the rainforest knelt over the sleeping man. He murmured in his ear,
Senor, when you awake, please look upon all of us with new eyes.
The man awoke with a start. Before him stood the rainforest child, and all around him were the creatures who depended on the great kapok tree. What wondrous and rare animals they were.
The man looked about and saw the sun streaming through the canopy. Spots of bright light glowed like jewels amidst the dark green forest. Strange and beautiful plants seemed to dangle in the air, suspended from from the great kapok tree.
The man smelled the fragrant perfume of their flowers. He felt the steamy mist rising from the forest floor. But he heard no sound, for the creatures were strangely quiet.
The man stood and picked up his axe. He swung back his arm as though to strike the tree, but suddenly he stopped. He turned and looked at the animals and the child.
He hesitated. Then he dropped the axe and walked out of the rainforest.
The end.
Thank you so much, readers. That is such a beautiful story with such a great lesson in it for us all. For our last story, as we are transitioning, I'm going to do a very fun one. It is called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs, written by, as told by, John Skyska.
Well, I'll bet most of you know a little bit about the story of the Three Little Pigs. Well, I think that the story you've heard may be a little different from this story, because this story is being told from the wolf's point of view. He's telling what really happened in this. His name is he wrote the story, A. Wolf. Here we are with the true story of the Three Little Pigs, and our readers.
I'm Mark, I'm narrator 1.
I'm John, and I played a wolf.
I'm Debbie, I'm narrator 3.
I'm Joe, I'm narrator 2, and I'm the police officer.
Here we go, scene 1.
Now everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody's ever heard my side of the story.
Name?
I'm the wolf. Oh, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. At least, I don't know how all this big bad wolf thing started, but it's all wrong.
I see. And what makes you so sure?
Well, maybe it's because of our diet. It's not my fault that wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are.
Can we stick to the story, please?
If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, this whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar.
Scene 2.
Way back in Once Upon a Time, a wolf was making a birthday cake for his dear old granny.
You see, I had a terrible sneezing cold.
And he ran out of sugar.
So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar.
Now this neighbor was a pig.
And he wasn't too bright either.
He had built his whole house out of straw. Straw.
Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind's gonna make a house out of straw, huh?
So, of course, the minute he knocked on the door, it fell right in. He claimed he didn't want to just walk into somebody's house.
So I called out, little pig, are you in?
No answer.
He was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for his dear old granny's birthday cake.
And that's when my nose began to kind of itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed. Achoo! And I sneezed a great sneeze.
The whole darn straw house fell down. Right in the middle of the pile of the straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail.
You see, he'd been home the whole time.
It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw.
Yeah. Oh! So I ate it up.
He was feeling a little bit better.
But I still didn't have that cup of sugar.
So he went to the next neighbor's house.
This neighbor was the first little pig's brother.
And he was a little smarter, but not much.
He had built his house of sticks.
So I rang the doorbell on the stick house.
Nobody answered.
And Mr. Pig said, "Go away, Wolf! You can't come in! I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin!"
He had just grabbed the doorknob when he felt another sneeze coming on.
And I huffed, and I snuffed, and I tried to cover my mouth, but achoo! I sneezed a great sneeze.
You're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's.
And when the dust cleared, there was a second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor.
Now, you know, food will spoil if you just leave it out there in
So
the
I
open.
did the only thing there was to
He
do.
had dinner again.
Yeah, think of it as a second helping.
He was getting awfully full.
But his cold was feeling a little better.
But still, I didn't have that cup of sugar from my granny's birthday cake.
So he went to the next house.
This guy was the first and second little pig's brother.
You see, he was kind of like the brains of the family.
He had built his house of bricks.
Well, I knocked on the door
No answer.
of the brick house.
No answer.
And I called out, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in?" And you know what that rude little porker said?
He said, "Get out of here, Wolf! Don't bother me again!"
Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack of sugar in there.
And he wouldn't give him even one little cup for dear, sweet old Granny's birthday
That's what he
cake.
said. What a pig.
He was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when he felt his cold coming on.
And I huffed. And I snuffed. Achoo! And I sneezed once again.
Then the third little pig yelled,
And your old granny can sit on a pin!
Wait a minute. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fella. But when somebody talks about my granny like that, well, I go a little crazy.
When I drove up, of course, he was trying to break down the pig's door. And the whole time he was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
Two reporters found out about the two pigs he ate for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting.
So they jazz up the story a bit with all that huff and puff stuff and blow your house down stuffing. And they made me the big bad wolf.
That's it, the real story. He was framed.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar? The end.
Act 2, the rehearsal. First, a public service announcement. You see these people up here on the stage? Any resemblance to actual persons living or dead is utterly ridiculous.
Now, wait a minute. Now, that's not the way I wrote it.
Well, that's the way they look to me.
Yeah, well, I guess I see what you mean. Okay, well, go ahead with the introduction.
We're going to look in on the community theater group as they begin to rehearse a new play. We have the director, and we have these 4 actors, and I use the term loosely.
What?
But a word of warning. This play contains material of a graphically goofy nature and may not be suitable for viewing by people who like to make sense. But if you don't care anyway, we now present the rehearsal.
Okay, gang, what we're rehearsing here is called a melodrama.
What's a melodrama?
Well, it's kind of like an old-fashioned type of stage play.
What's it like?
Well, it's a stupid story acted out by performers who hammed it up something awful.
That sounds like what we always do.
Exactly.
I think you got a point there. Never mind.
Didn't they used to do this type of thing in the early silent movies?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Then I think we should do that.
What?
Silently.
Oh.
I've read the script.
Now, what? What's the matter with the script?
It stinks. Who wrote this drivel anyway?
I did.
Oh.
Well, now let's get on with it. Listen up, all of you. There are 4 characters in this melodrama. The villain is a banker named Blackstone Slimeheart, who is rich but rotten. And Arnold, I want you to play this part.
I don't want to play the villain. The audience always hates the villain.
Now, Arnold, the audience always hates you. no matter what part you play.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
Then you'll play Blackstone Slimeheart.
Sure.
Okay. Ernest, I want you to play the part of the handsome hero Frank Forthright, who is poor but honest.
So now he's not only poor but honest, he's also frank and earnest.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah, all right. Now we have 2 parts for the women. The heroine, Pearl Purestocking, who is young and lovely, and her widowed mother, Widow Purestocking, who is old and stupid.
I want to play the dog.
Now, sorry, Wilma, sorry. That part calls for someone who is,
Younger,
well, yeah. Well,
prettier,
yeah, I guess so.
someone who doesn't know what you did at the party Saturday night.
Okay, you play the daughter.
what? That just leaves the widow's part for me.
That's right.
But she's old and stupid.
Phyllis, my dear, I don't know anyone who could better convince this audience that you're old and stupid.
Really? Thank you.
You're welcome. And now that the casting is complete, let's get on with the rehearsal. Narrator, please, set the scene.
The time is the late 1800s. The setting is the humble cottage of Widow Purestocking and her lovely daughter Pearl. Pearl's father, the late Phineas Purestocking, is deceased. He is referred to as the late Phineas Purestocking because he's never been on time for anything, including the mortgage payments. Banker Blackstone Slimeheart holds the mortgage on the cottage, and he has threatened to foreclose unless the lovely Pearl agrees to marry him. Thus far, however, he has been a rejected suitor.
Why is he called a rejected suitor?
I guess because he doesn't suit her.
That's a terrible pun. All right.
What I'm trying to get at is, what is the meaning of the word suitor?
Well, one meaning of the word suit is an appeal. So a suitor is one who is pressing an appeal.
In other words, pressing a suit.
Well, I guess so.
He should take it to his tailor.
Somehow I knew you'd say that.
Sorry.
So as I was saying, the villain is seeking Pearl's hand.
Why, is it lost?
No, that's the way they used to say it back then. He's seeking her hand in marriage.
Just her hand. Doesn't he want the rest of her?
Arnold, that's what I like about you.
Yeah.
I can always count on you to be an idiot.
Ain't that the truth?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Ernest, in this first scene, you and Pearl are sitting in the parlor, and you're trying to get up the nerve to propose. Let's have the first line.
The curtain rises.
No. That's the stage direction. Read Frank's first line.
Oh, okay. Ah, Pearl, you are as beautiful as a floor, and you have stolen my hair.
No, that's, the line goes, you're as beautiful as a flower, and you have stolen my heart.
That isn't how it looks in the script. Your handwriting is terrible.
Oh, yeah, well, I didn't have time to get it typed up. Just do the best you can. Okay, Pearl, pick up the next line.
Oh, Frank, you are so romantic. You have swept me off my fish.
That's feet. You swept me off my feet.
Well, I'm sorry. It's your handwriting. It's unreadable.
I know. Just do the best you can. Come on, get on with it.
Pearl, my darling, you have filled my life with joy.
The word is joy. You have filled my life with joy.
Okay, if you say so. Well, but that isn't what it looks like.
All right, I know. Just go on, will you?
My lovely Pearl, I dream of you being my handbag.
The word is husband. The word is husband.
Okay, whatever, Pearl. I dream of being your husband, the father of your chimney.
No, for Pete's sake, the word is children. Children.
Okay, Pearl, my dear. I can see our future together now. You and I and our children living happily behind that white picket fence.
Behind a picket fence? But Frank, I'd really rather live in a house.
Pearl, don't marry this man.
Mother, why are you hiding behind the door?
Well, I'm too fat to fit under the couch.
Well, why can't I marry this man?
Because he's as poor as a church mouse.
No, the word is... Oh, never mind.
He may be poor, Mother, but he is the man that I love.
But love does not pay the beans. Does not pay the bills. You should marry banker Slimehart.
But I hate that man.
But he's rich, Pearl. Oh, he's wealthy. Do you realize what that means?
Of course. That means he has lots of mustard. Has lots of monkey stuff.
What?
Money.
Money, yes,
He
money.
has lots of money.
Precisely, my dear. And he owns the mortgage.
Mother, would you want your only daughter to have a miserable life, married to a man she hates, just so he will cancel the mortgage?
Wait. Let me think about that. Yes.
Okay, all right, that needs a little work, but let's go on to the next scene where the villain comes to the house to talk to Pearl. Now, take it from the top.
Hark! I hear the doorbell. Hark! I hear the doorbell.
Hey, Arnold, what was that?
I couldn't find the doorbell.
All right, then let's change it to a knock.
Who's there?
It is I, your friendly banker.
No, you're supposed to say, open that door.
But that sounds nasty.
You're supposed to be nasty, you're the villain.
But I want to be a nice guy. Nobody likes a villain.
Now look, you're playing the part of a really rotten guy. And I want you to get into your character, be the character. And that goes for all of you. I want you to be the character you're playing.
All right. Open this door!
Oh, who is it?
Blackstone Slimeheart, a really rotten guy.
Oh, come in.
No, go away.
No, indeed. I'm coming and I hold the mortgage, so this house belongs to me. I have you in my crutches.
What?
Crutches.
Clutches! I have you in my clutches, Arnold.
Okay. So marry me, my proud beauty, or I will foreclose the mortgage and throw you and your poor old mother out in the snow.
Oh, yes. Marry him, Pearl.
No, Mother, I will not marry this creep.
Pearl, he is a rich creep.
No, never.
Yes, my dear, you should reconsider. Marry me and you shall have servants and diamonds.
Servants and diamonds, huh? Well, you are evil and disgusting, but I like that in a person.
Now, wait a minute, that's not in the script.
Hey, you said get into the character.
Yeah.
Really live the part.
Yeah.
I mean, if this guy is going to give me servants and diamonds, and all Frank here has to offer me is that stupid white picket fence, I think I should give this some real consideration.
Now that's it, that does it. You people are impossible. I've got a mind too.
If you had a good mind, you wouldn't have written this garbage in the first place.
Hey.
Yeah, really.
You're right, Ernest. I'm fed up with this stuff. I'm out of here.
Huh, me too.
I'm leaving too. I've got better things to do.
Well, I wonder what Shakespeare would have done in a situation like this. I know. He wrote Much Ado About Nothing. Well, I guess so did I.
The
end.
Do you recall the words to all the songs that were popular when you were in high school? But you can't remember what you had for dinner last night? Did you ever look all over the cordless phone and finally discover you left it in the refrigerator? Did you ever rearrange the furniture and finally get lost in your own house? Well, maybe you are a little forgetful, but you'll feel even better after you meet the gently wacky characters in this play. As the scene opens, two residents in a retirement home find themselves seated next to each other at a dinner, and they start up conversation.
Hello there. What's your name?
Wait a minute. It's here on my name tag. It's Hippolyta.
No, I think it says Penelope. You're reading it upside down.
Really? Oh, I couldn't tell from across the room.
You're not across the room. You're right here.
No, I couldn't be because I wasn't here when I came in.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. You're very kind.
I used to know somebody named Penelope.
Well, I live somewhere else.
Where?
Where what?
Where did you live?
Oh, Idaho, I think.
Where in Idaho?
Well, it was, St. Louis.
St. Louis is in Missouri. I think you're confused.
No, I'm Penelope. You said so yourself.
Why, yes, so I did. It was good of you to remember what I said. Most people don't.
Don't what?
Don't remember what I said.
What did you say?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
I once knew somebody named Norman.
I don't think I know anybody.
Well, that's okay. There's nobody here anyway.
I play the flugelhorn.
Oh, that must be exciting.
No, it isn't. All I ever get to play is oom-pa-pa.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yes.
Oom-pa-pa?
Yeah, oom-pa-pa.
Well, that's interesting, but not very.
Say, you're pretty cute. I like your hair.
Oh! Why, thank you.
It reminds me of an old-time movie star.
Rita Hayworth?
No, Lassie.
But Lassie was a dog.
What have you got against dogs? Well, when I was a kid, I always wanted a dog.
Didn't you get one?
No, we lived in a very small apartment. So my parents got me a chicken. I named it Rover.
I had a cat once.
What was its name?
Well, he didn't have one. We were very poor, so we couldn't afford to give him a name.
I don't understand that.
Well, my cat didn't either. When we called him, he never came.
Would you like to dance?
No.
Why not?
Well, there isn't any music.
Oh, I hadn't noticed. What do you think about the food here?
Ugh. I try not to think about it at all.
Well, this bread is so tough, I can't eat it.
Well, excuse me, but I think you're trying to eat your napkin.
Oh, yes, well, I knew that.
The same way you know that your elbow's in the butter dish?
Well, I can't help it. You've got me so distracted, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, sorry.
What do you think about dating?
Not much.
No, I mean, how do you feel about it?
Feel about what?
You know, going out with guys.
Oh, I don't know. I tried it a few times, I think.
Did you enjoy it?
Well, let me put it this way. I forgot.
What do you mean you forgot?
I just don't remember.
Well, I didn't forget.
Going out with guys?
No, of course not. Going out with girls. There was this one girl in particular.
Oh, what was her name?
I can't remember.
Well, I can't forget this one guy I dated. He was really something.
What was he?
What do you mean, what was he?
You said he was really something.
Oh, did I? Well, I wonder what that was.
Do you think about him a lot?
No, he married somebody.
I think about that girl sometimes.
What girl?
You know, the one I told you about.
The one whose name you forgot?
That's the one.
Who did she marry?
I don't know.
Well, that's the way it goes.
Say, do you want to take a walk with me?
No.
Why not?
I want to go to my needlework class.
What are you making?
I'm knitting something.
What is it?
I don't know till I'm finished, but I think it's a ham sandwich. Well, yesterday I made a hat.
A knitted hat?
No,
What was it made of?
potato salad.
How did you wear
Well,
that?
I didn't wear it. The cook wore it. I threw my lunch at her.
Why?
Because she tried to steal my horse.
You don't have a horse.
That's because she took it.
This isn't making any sense.
Well, what do you expect from someone who knits ham sandwiches?
Oh, never mind. Let's go and watch TV.
No,
Why not?
because they're always yelling.
Who?
Those people in the furniture store.
What furniture store?
Oh, you know, the one where the dog drives the lawnmower?
Oh, that's a commercial.
No, that's a lawnmower.
Okay, we don't have to watch TV. How long have you been here?
Well, ever since we sat down to dinner.
No, I mean, how long have you lived in this place?
What place? Where are we?
You know, this nice home, Gleeful Manor.
Oh, Gleeful Manor? What a coincidence! That's where I live. I'm in 212.
Wait a minute. I live in 212. What are you doing in my room?
Well, what are you doing in mine?
I play the flugelhorn.
Amazing! My husband Norman plays the flugelhorn.
Wait. You're Penelope? I remember now. You're the girl I can't forget.
And you're the guy who's really something. I remember now. I married you.
Then I must be Norman.
Yes, you're my husband.
Then you're probably my wife.
Yes, I think that's how it works.
Good. Would you like to take a walk with me now?
Oh, yes. Let's go and see if we can find room 212.
Why?
Well, I think we might know some people who live there.
That's nice. Let's go see them.
I do hope they're home.
Well, if not, we can leave a note.
Yes. Our next story is What's on TV. Daytime television. Pretty dismal stuff. Soap operas, talk shows, old reruns, cartoons. What I want to know is whatever happened to culture and education. Well, today I was surfing through the TV channels and I came across 4 different programs, but the problem was they were all on at the same time. So I had to keep flipping back and forth among 4 channels And here is what I heard.
Hi there, folks. This is Fit to be Fried, your favorite cooking show. I'm Francis Fondue, here to tell you how to prepare a wonderful company dinner.
Welcome to your pet department, the show that's all about your furry friends, and this is Bobby Bassett, your friendly pet vet. Today's topic is how to break your pet of bad habits.
Well, hello, you've tuned into Dirt, your gardening show. And this is Mark Contrary. We will talk today first about creating a compost heap. Now, it's wonderful stuff for your garden, and it's so easy to put together. I'm going to tell you how.
We're back here today on the dating scene. I'm Cindy Crawfish with dating tips for you guys from a woman's point of view. Now, women love flowers, so when you go to pick her up for dinner, be sure to bring her a lovely bouquet of
Rotting leaves and old grass clippings. Yes, keep turning those over in your compost pile so it will decompose evenly and make all this goopy, smelly
Salad for your first course. This will absolutely amaze your guests, but allow them only one small serving because there is so much more food coming up.
All over the floor. Now, you don't want your puppy to do this, so be sure to put down a lot of newspapers for her.
When you do these little things for her, a woman really appreciates your thoughtfulness. But she might not be able to express her gratitude in words, so don't be surprised if she
Jumps up and puts her paws on your knees. This is really a bad habit. A lot of them have, and sometimes it's difficult to break. But try pushing her off and then hollering no.
Or you can sprinkle on some grated cheese. Well, let's move ahead. I promised to tell you how to make those cute little appetizers. So, first you break 2 eggs and put them
in one ear and out the other. Your girlfriend won't really listen if you talk about football because she really isn't interested. So try to talk about something that she enjoys, like maybe
making a mess on the carpet. Now don't punish her for this. I know some people might spank her with a fly swatter, but don't do that. A fly swatter is only good for
eating your egg whites until they form a peak. Be careful not to overbeat them or they won't mix well. Now carefully fold the egg whites into
your old rubber gloves. It's a good idea to wear these when you handle the compost because this stuff makes a rather nasty concoction
for your romantic dinner. Since you want to impress the lady with your good taste, be sure and choose a place that has soft lights and nice music, and don't forget,
no matter how much she begs, don't let her eat food from the table. You must be consistent in making her eat from a bowl on the floor.
And another thing to remember is that a woman always appreciates compliments about her appearance. For instance, admire her hair. Tell her it looks like
a collection of yard waste and old table scraps. Almost anything like this can be added to the compost pile, and you'll see what a wonderful nourishment it can make for your garden and your plants. And it's always good to toss a shovelful into the
pie crust mix for the little appetizers. Now put it in the refrigerator to chill while you're making the filling. First, take out your mixing bowl, get a big clove of garlic, and rub it all over
her lovely face. You can see how pleased she is when you tell her how pretty she looks. So say something nice about her dress. Tell her it makes her look like
something dragged in from the garbage. All dogs will dig into trash can. If the lid isn't on tight, be sure to get a secure fit. You can even take something heavy like a cement block and
toss it into your bowl of cheese filling. And another nice touch is a dash of white pepper. Now mix this well and then
drag it all over the yard. So it bears repeating that to prevent this, you must be sure the lid is on tight. Otherwise, your dog might dig out some pretty awful.
And give to your lady friend. A woman always appreciates it when she finds little surprise gifts. So hand this to her and imagine her delight when she opens it and finds
Something damp and disgusting. Now compost may seem that way to you, but your garden will just love it. And next we're going to talk about transplanting a pot-bound begonia into...
Your shoe. Some dogs will chew on anything they can find. So it's not a good idea to leave shoes on the floor. And another thing you don't want to leave lying around on the floor is
your girlfriend. She likes it when you say romantic things. So put your arm around her and whisper some sweet talk into her
bedroom slippers or handbag. Don't ever leave these things where your dog can get at them. If your dog has a bad habit of chewing on things, just give her
dancing lessons. But even if you never learn to waltz, don't just sit there. Go on. Take your lady out on that dance floor and
Spread butter all over both legs. Then sprinkle with salt and pepper and wrap in aluminum foil. This will keep your chicken moist while it's baking. And for a nice flavor, I usually add a generous amount of
potting soil. But even before you do that, you'll need to allow for drainage. So fill the bottom of your flower pot with about 2 inches of
mashed potatoes and gravy. This will go well with the chicken. And now for the gravy, you simply stir the drippings and flour into
your girlfriend's hair. A woman likes it when you show her these little signs of affection. For instance, when you are seated at the table, she might appreciate being
rolled out on the table. I always use the table to roll out the pie crust because there is more room than on the kitchen counter. Now take your cheese filling and spread it evenly
across your girlfriend's lap. Usually the waiter does this, but if he doesn't, it might be a nice gesture for you to place her napkin there. Then it's a good idea to
rub her belly and scratch her behind the ears. They all love this. And be sure to give her a lot of praise. Tell her over and over what a good dog she is, because
pleasant dinner conversation is very important. If you want to make a good impression, just don't talk about yourself. Get your lady to talk about herself. For instance, if she ever
drinks out of the toilet. My dog used to do this all the time. It was really a problem until I finally tried
covering it with a layer of finely chopped onions. When you serve this as an appetizer, your guests will surely ask for the recipe, but just smile mysteriously and say, "It's a secret." Now, by this time, the chicken
isn't saying very much. But even if your lady doesn't talk a lot, you can often tell how she feels about you by observing the little things she does. For instance, you might notice that she
is throwing up. This may happen because she ate something she found outside. So keep her under supervision when she runs loose. My dog once ate
a house full of dinner guests waiting to be served. If dinner is going to be late, this can be pretty embarrassing. But don't worry about it. Just give them cocktails and
stack them on top of each other in the potting shed. Saving those old cracked pots is always a good idea. Now they can be broken up and used for drainage pieces. Just put them in your planter along with
the chocolate pudding. This is always nice for a simple dessert. Meanwhile, you can finish setting the table and then go back to your guests and
pinch off the dead ones. Getting rid of these faded flowers on your plant will encourage new growth, and now you're ready to transfer your pot-bound plant into your
plate of spaghetti. This is not the best thing to order if you tend to drag your sleeve in the sauce. Now, you don't want your date to think you're a slut, so ask for something safe, like a nice order of
fertilizer. Some people do this to add it to their potting soil, but you can just put in some of your compost instead. And when you do this, be sure to
Spill it all over your necktie. But don't worry about it. These things can happen to anyone. And if you accidentally butter your fingers, just discreetly wipe your hands on your...
The dog. So many of them are long-haired breeds, and thus type of dog may require a lot of special attention, such as
summoning the waiter if she wants more coffee. A lady appreciates it when you anticipate her needs in this way. Now, for another example, you might look across the table and notice that she is
shedding all over the place. If you find this annoying, and you don't like this kind of bother with a dog, then you might be better off to get a cat. All they require is
a final spin around the dance floor, followed by chocolate mousse and champagne. As your romantic dinner draws to a close, smile lovingly into your lady's eyes and fill her wine glass with
kitty litter. Now, cats are very fastidious creatures, so you'll have to clean the box frequently and empty the litter
in the middle of the dining room table. A beautiful centerpiece like this is always lends that final touch to a festive dinner setting. Now, all you have to do is go and call in your guests and ask them to
do something behind the couch. Now, this is a bad habit that some cats develop, so it is very important to
thank her for a lovely evening. And now that you and your girlfriend are alone at the door of her apartment, you might want to lean over and give her
a sharp rap on the bottom. Hitting the base of the flower pot in this way will loosen the soil and the plant will slip right out.
And now for a final word on the dating scene. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get out to go to some fancy place. Just bring some good wine, and you can have a wonderful evening just sitting around her apartment.
Coughing up hairballs.
Well, I turned off the TV at this point because that was about all the culture and education I could stay out in one sitting. It's probably all you can take too.
The end.
Woo!